Welcome back to the Boys series, Season 1, Episode 4, The Female of the Species. In a flashback 8 years earlier, Butcher is happily married with his wife Becca. However, in the present, he's alone and eating Hot Pockets. Butcher sneaks into Susan Rayner's office to give her images of A-Train and Popclaw injecting Compound V, but she says without a sample it's useless. Butcher then calls Popclaw and she says that A-Train always comes back from the shop with garlic noodles, so that has to be where he goes to drop the Compound V off. Butcher reminds her that if she's wrong, the video of her killing her landlord might find its way onto Pornhub. Outside the noodle shop, Frenchie sees one of the noodle guys packing a pistol, so they follow him into a warehouse. They find a caged woman, who they overhear the other men referring to as the female, watching TV, and Frenchie opens her cage just in time for her to run out and easily kill all the heavily armed men that just showed up out of nowhere. In fact, she's so terrifying that the last gang member shoots himself in the head rather than try to fight her, and then she takes off. MM discovers that she was some kind of testing subject being injected with Compound V by the Triads. Now they need to find her before somebody else does. In her cell, Frenchie finds a bottle of nail polish and a piece of a ticket that says Penn Station. He takes them with him. Hughie gets a text from Starlight and Butcher says that he should take her on a date so he can hack their phone. Hughie tries to tell him that she's a good person, but he doesn't give a shit. All soups are the same to him. Stillwell receives a call that terrorists are hijacking a plane over international waters. She sends Homelander and Queen Maeve to rescue the hostages, because over international waters, there's no rules, so they don't need the government's permission. Hughie and Annie go on a bowling date where they chat, and Hughie discovers Translucent has a 10-year-old son. Makes him feel even worse about killing the guy. They get to know each other talking about high school memories and first kisses and dates, when suddenly Hughie starts hallucinating his dead girlfriend Robin staring at him. Starlight goes to the bathroom, and he hacks her phone. The Deep is now in therapy, insecure as fuck. He calls himself a joke, says he's a DEI hire that can talk to fish. While Stillwell is tracking the hijacking, the Deep interrupts her and says that he wants to rescue dolphins from Oceanland. Stillwell says no because he is the face of Oceanland's fall campaign. The Deep then breaks into Oceanland and escapes with one dolphin. He talks to the dolphin on their way to the ocean, and while we can't understand him, it's heavily implied that this dolphin is into some freaky shit. The police cut his van off, forcing the Deep to slam on his brakes, and in slow motion we see the dolphin fly out of his harness, through the windshield, into the middle of the street, and run over instantly by a semi-truck. A-Train sees the NYPD carting off the dead gang members, and so he goes to Popclaw's apartment to ask her who she told about the Compound V. They argue, and she insists she didn't tell anybody anything. A-Train tells her she needs to pack a bag so they can go somewhere safe, and this gives me Old Yeller vibes. Frenchie goes to meet up with Cherie and gets some Hall of Fame from her while she grabs his ding-dong. The female walks into a nail salon and brutally kills the owner. When the boys show up, A-Train's already there and he's deemed the crime scene as a gang hit. Frenchie discovers the nail polish that he has came from this shop, and the owner's smuggling immigrants. They head to Penn Station based off the ticket Frenchie found. MM gets a call saying the box they found in the Triads warehouse came from Samaritan's Embrace, a charity ran by Ezekiel, that preacher from the soup club that was kissing two dudes. Frenchie finds the female in an electronics store and tries to get her to open up to him, but she gets scared by the TV and runs off. Homelander and Queen Maeve arrive at Flight 37 and kill all the terrorists with ease. In the cockpit, Queen Maeve finds terrorists holding the pilot at gunpoint. The pilot gets shot, Homelander kills the terrorist, but also destroys the plane's controls. Maeve thinks of every idea she can to try and save the passengers. Homelander shoots them all down. It's not possible. There's 123 people on this plane. He decides he's gonna leave, bold-faced lying to a little girl on the way who asks if he's there to save them. He gets to the back, opens up the door, and people start to panic, realizing he's leaving. Maeve tries to convince him to save two little girls, but he says no because they'll just tell everybody what happened. He demands she leave with him right now. She does, and they leave behind everybody on the plane to die. That's fucking nuts. MM and Frenchie get into an argument about Frenchie consistently not following orders. On another job, he was supposed to follow a soup named Lamplighter, and he didn't, which ended up getting the grandchildren of Mallory, who founded the boys, burned alive. Butcher breaks up the fight with a hilarious Spice Girls reference, saying that they are all absolute garbage on their own, but when they work together they can create something great, just like the goddamn Spice Girls.
How do you know so much about the Spice Girls?
They find the female, but A-Train shows up and starts bashing the shit out of her head. Frenchie calls attention to him and he stops as fans surround him on the platform. The female escapes, but the boys catch up to her, knocking her out with the Hall of Fame from Cherie. Homelander and Queen Maeve look on as the remains of Flight 37 wash up on the beach. Nobody survived. When interviewed by the news, Homelander boldly lies, saying that they arrived 3 minutes after the plane went down because they aren't in the government chain of command. If they had called him, he could have saved all of them. Stillwell watches from her office as Homelander flips the story and gains massive public support for soups in the military. Bam. And that's episode 4. This shit is getting crazy. The cold-hearted psychoticness of Homelander fucking blows my mind. To just kill everybody on that plane, look at these little girls and just be like, fuck them. He doesn't even see them as human. He genuinely looks at people like they're just ants. Step on them, kill them. Doesn't even think twice. Anyways, please make sure you like, subscribe. Episode 5 coming up next. Thanks for watching.